Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Illumination. I hope that your day has been as bright as you are, and for today's video we are going to be doing a Q&A. So basically, a couple days ago on Twitter I tweeted out for you guys to reply with a couple questions for a Q&A video, and you guys pulled through, so let's jump right into it. The first question here from Tack is, how do your pants fit with that big old third arm? Listen, bro, I don't make the rules, all right? I don't know. It is what it is. The next question we got here is from Bond, and it's, is there one thing that you wish you could have done differently when it comes to streaming? And I would say yes, definitely. The one thing I would do differently is my consistency has just been kind of all over the place recently. Part of that is due to school and me just being busy, because my classes change every month, but I definitely wish that I had like a certain time to go live every single night, because I think that would just improve my engagement. I think it would be good for me because I could stay on a schedule, but definitely consistency I think is one thing I would improve on that I would do differently. Next question here is from Anna, which is, who inspired me to start streaming? What's one thing you would do differently if you could change something? Like I said earlier, the thing that I would do differently is have a schedule or collaborate and do more event stuff. But jumping into the inspiration part, I think my first original inspiration to start streaming was Summit1G. He's a super popular streamer if you guys don't already know him. But I was watching him when he was doing a lot of Sea of Thieves stuff with like CDN the Third and Pace, if you know those guys. I think when I started streaming, actually, FaZe Mew was definitely my biggest inspiration. He was the guy that kept pushing me to pursue my streaming career and my dream. I would say, honestly, all of my friends are a big inspiration to me because we all do such different things and we play different games. And I think everybody has their own unique way of making content or entertaining people. And that's always inspiring to me because it always pushes me to be as unique as possible and be as true to myself as possible. Next question here from Ace, why are you 5'9"? I'm fucking not. All right, moving on here to Emmett's question. What is a country that you would want to visit in the future? There are two specifically that I've wanted to go to for a very long time. The first one being Ireland and the other one being Italy. I've always heard really good things about Ireland and about the nature and about the landscape there. And I'm a really big guy for nature. I love the mountains. I love seeing green everywhere. I live in Florida and I live kind of in central Florida, so there's a lot of city around me now. But when I'm moving back to Colorado, I'm going to be spending a whole lot of time up in the mountains because I just love that sort of landscape. But definitely Ireland, because I've heard that the landscape and the nature there is really great. And then Italy specifically because I want to go and try all the food and see the culture down in Italy. I am like a huge fan, and I'd say probably my favorite type of food is Italian food. And I really want to know what it's like to have some like authentic Italian cuisine. Next from Emmett is, what's your favorite video game of all time? But for this one, I think it's between Black Ops 2 and Minecraft. And I think if I had to pick one of the two, I would definitely say Black Ops 2, just because of all the memories that I made on that game. I mean, I made lifelong friends like Bungles, if you guys know him. I met him on Black Ops 2. Black Ops 2 was when I discovered my passion for content creating, and being an entertainer, and overall I just had so many great memories with the game. I mean, the multiplayer was amazing, the zombies was always a blast. I remember I'd stay up way past my bedtime as a kid playing, COD until all hours of the night. Minecraft is a close second though, just because you can literally do whatever you want in Minecraft. There's no limits to what you can do. It's not like you have to do a certain thing every time. But Minecraft's a blast, and I think it's a close second to BO2 for me specifically. And the next question from Emmett is, no bitches? I am indeed maidenless. Yes, unfortunately. All right, now moving on to Odin's question here. If you could give a stranger one piece of advice, what would it be and why? Now, I actually really like this question, just because it's one of the more deeper meaning questions. And I think if I were to give a random stranger one piece of advice, it would be to pursue what makes you the happiest. Never quit on yourself and never quit on your dreams. Everybody has a dream to do something or a passion to follow. And I've been following mine my entire life, whether it's music or whether it's, streaming and content creation, all that stuff. I know from personal experience that you can literally do anything that you put your mind to. If you have enough drive and enough passion for something, then you can go out and achieve whatever your goals are, whatever your dream is. And next we got Broken asking, what is one goal that brought you happiness? And I think for me, it definitely is hitting 3K on Twitch. When I started, I originally didn't even think I would get past like 500 or really even get affiliate. But once I hit 3K, I knew that I could spread my influence to a bunch more people, spread more positivity, spread more love. And I think 3K brought me a ton of happiness, but we're not stopping there. We're going to keep going. All right, next is from Gears here. Can we get married in Fiji? I mean, there's a couple people who want to marry me, so you got to take it up with them, but like, I'm down, you know, I'm down, bro. All right, next here is from Murky. I fucking love you, Murky. Who is your inspiration and what is your end goal in life? So 2 parts to this question. So for part 1, I think I have a ton of inspiration for pretty much everything that I do, whether it's music or for content creation or whatever. For music, I think probably my biggest inspirations are Paramore, Linkin Park, Grandson for sure, Blink-182, and I mean there's literally a billion other bands that I could name that inspire me. I could go on for days about that. For streaming, I would definitely say FaZe Mew is one of my biggest inspirations. A lot of you guys already know that. I like the way that he carries himself. I like the messages that he promotes in his streams. I like the way that he engages with his chat. So he's a really big inspiration for me for streaming. So for part 2 of this question, what's your end goal in life? My end goal, I think, is pretty much just to push love and positivity to everybody that I possibly can, through content creation, through streaming, through music, through whatever it might be. As long as I can push love and positivity and promote that to other people, that's really my end goal. But if we're talking more specifically, my end goal is to be full-time content creation or streaming or full-time musician. Either of those, if I can achieve even just one of those, I will be super happy, because the cool thing is that if I can achieve one of them, I could probably do the other one on the side. Next question, we got a couple from Tricks here. Who inspired you to start drumming? So my inspiration to start drumming definitely is Travis Barker. I mean, that's a lot of people, and I know a lot of you guys probably know who Travis Barker is. But basically, I grew up listening to bands like Linkin Park, Blink-182, and Travis Barker was just one of those guys that you saw him play and you were like, damn. The next question here is, what is your favorite rock song of all time? And this one is super hard, because I mean, there are literally a million songs that I could name that have been super influential to me, that I've loved and listened to for my entire life. I mean, there are some that I've wanted to get the lyrics of the songs or even the titles tattooed on me just because of how much I love them. But I think for me, and this might not come as a surprise to many people, my favorite rock song of all time is Misery Business by Paramore. If you haven't heard it, you're living under a fucking rock. Next here, we've got Lionheart asking, how did you come up with your alias? What got you into drumming? And who's your inspiration to play? And when did you start drumming? So first thing, how did I come up with my alias? I actually love telling this story because a lot of people don't know it. But yeah, so basically Lumi comes from the word luminary, and a luminary by definition is a person who inspires or influences others, especially one prominent in a particular sphere, which just means in something, right? So I've always wanted to spread love and positivity and be, you know, that positive influence with whatever I do, whether it's music or content creation or whatever. But specifically with content creation, I was struggling to come up with an alias, and I wanted, you know, to have some sort of meaning behind mine. So I took the word luminary, I shortened it down to Lumi, because a luminary really represents what I want to do in content creation, and so that's how I got my name. So I just shortened the luminary down to Lumi, and here we are. Now for the next question, we've got what got you into drumming and who's your inspiration to play? Well, I started drumming when I was like 2 years old because I was homeschooled at the time, and my mom and I were looking at places around the world. So that was just part of like the homeschooling thing. She was just showing me different things around the world when I was super young. And then we came across Djembe drumming in Africa. And if you don't know what it is, I'll put a photo on the screen right now, and maybe that'll jog your memory a little bit. But basically, I lit up with excitement when I saw that for the first time, and from that point on, my parents kind of knew that that's all I wanted to do. So they got me a bunch of drum toys and sticks and stuff like that to mess around with until I was 5. When I was 5 years old, my parents bought me my first ever drum kit, and I have never looked back since. I've pretty much played every day that I get a chance to. I actually just played before I made this video. But yeah, that's kind of where it all started for me. My inspiration to play comes from a bunch of different drummers. If we're talking drummers specifically, Travis Barker again was the first one that I ever looked up to, but then after that it would definitely be Josh Dunn from 21 Pilots, Danny Abbasi from Neck Deep, Matt McGuire from the Chainsmokers, which if you haven't seen his YouTube channel, please go watch him. He is such an amazing drummer. And then finally, Brian Lotta from Belmont. If you know Belmont, then you know that Brian Lotta absolutely is just insane. But I look up to all those guys. I get inspired by all those guys, and I think that my playing really influences that. Even though I can't show you guys my playing and stuff like that yet, it definitely is heavily influenced from all those guys that I just mentioned. So next we got Lays. When did you get into drumming, and why do you love it so much? Like I mentioned before, I got into drumming when I was 2 years old, and I've always loved it. because I have severe hyperactive type ADHD, and drumming has always made me feel the most alive and the most like myself. So for those of you who don't know, ADHD is a mental disorder, even though I think of it as like a superpower. Basically, it's a disorder where the brain struggles with attention, has an increase in hyperactivity, which is why you'll see me move around a lot and talk really fast sometimes. For me, I feel like my ADHD has always made me more creative, but I'm also hyperactive, and in my physical movements and in my brain, drumming has always been a place where being hyperactive is a good thing, and my ADHD promotes creativity, which leads to me being more creative around the kit and with any sort of music that I do. So if you ever have a chance to see me when I'm playing live, you'll see I headbang a lot, I do a lot of stick tricks, I make really big movements when I'm drumming. It's because it quite literally makes me feel the most alive, it makes me feel the most like myself. Drumming is also definitely like an outlet for me whenever I'm feeling down. I do struggle with depression and anxiety, and drumming has always been a way to kind of calm me down or bring me back down to earth, and make me feel comfortable with myself. So it's just something that I've been doing for the longest time. I find a lot of comfort in it. Even though it doesn't seem like it, I find a lot of peace in it, and it really makes me feel like, you know, the most true and authentic version of myself. All right, next question here is from Limey. My boy, I love you. Top 3 Belmont songs. If you guys don't know already, Belmont's one of my current favorite bands. They have been for a while. If you don't know them, go listen to them. They're fucking amazing. I'd say for my top 3, it would be Shackles, Minuscule, and Convalescence. All right, and for the last question here, we've got my boy Dan. Favorite Linkin Park album? Hybrid Theory is absolutely my favorite, just hands down. I grew up listening to Hybrid Theory. It's what my dad first had me listening to when I was a kid and when I was growing up listening to music. So that album has just been with me throughout my entire life. I've been listening to it for so long. I pretty much have an emotional attachment to the album, but Hybrid Theory is definitely my favorite album by Linkin Park. Anyways, that is going to be it for today's video. If you guys do want to see more Q&A videos, or if you enjoyed, please be sure to drop a like and a comment below. If you are new here and you enjoyed the content and want to join the Illumination, consider dropping a sub. Remember, stay bright, push positivity, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day as always. Peace out.